Hi-ho is somebody I've known for years and years. Okay, Hi-ho Tran, Kistler.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
And,
Hello, everybody.
yeah, she and I share this space in which we've had, all of us have had many, many tango parties. So,
Great parties.
and great parties. Um, and I've always wanted to see what Hi-ho Tran was all about. And so I have some questions, and I'd like you to give us a little bit of a background history quickly, stating the obvious, that obviously you're Vietnamese and you were born and raised in Vietnam, and if you could tell us a little bit about that, and then take us up to the point where you're living in the U.S. So,
Okay. So I was born in Vietnam, and 10 years after the war is over, 1985, this is when, 10 years after the war is over, the economy in Vietnam is still pretty bad. And so our family decided to immigrate to the US for better economic and better lives. And we were sponsored by our aunt who immigrated to the US in 1975, and we follow her 10 years after. This is when I was 17 years old.
jeez, that's pretty amazing. When you were 17 years old, and you came to this country, and what grade were you? What part of your education was that?
I was in the 11th grade,
11th grade.
right, and I
Okay.
continued high school here, and I went to college at UC Davis
Oh, great.
for my engineering school.
The Hi-ho Tran, I've been trying to get together with this champion tango dancer for many years, and we finally got together. We just had a wonderful dinner that Sandra cooked, salmon dinner. So we're all feeling good. And Hi-ho, I'd like you to tell me the beginning, the origin of Hi-ho coming from Vietnam.
First of all, I would like to thank you for you both inviting me here. It's an honor of mine. I've been invited here many times for tango parties, and I love every single time. And tonight you cook a delicious dinner, and I'm so happy to be here, have a conversation with you all. My journey, I immigrated to the U.S. in 1985, 10 years after the war is over, and 10 years after the war is over, but the economy in Vietnam was still pretty bad because unlike any other war, like the South Korea, Japan, or Germany, where the U.S. came back and helped rebuild the country, Vietnam, the U.S. didn't. So the situation was pretty bad 10 years after the war. So we sought for better living conditions, and so we immigrated here.
Great. So you're 17 years old, you came, and you went back to high school and to UC Davis in engineering.
That's right.
Yeah.
So how did you decide on engineering? What made you decide to go that way?
Well, when I first started high school in Southern California, I remember vividly when I first spoke in class, the whole class burst out laughing because they couldn't understand me. I barely spoke English, and but then at that point I realized I better start my career doing something for my knowledge instead of my doing job require my language skills, right? So I decided to go to engineering, but deep down inside, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now, I dance, I take photograph, and also I do financial services now, but I no longer do engineering.
Right. Okay. So then how did you get started in tango? How did that happen?
I started out as a ballroom dancer at UC Davis.
Okay.
After I graduated, I continued to do that, But at one point, I realized, when I saw flamenco dancing for the first time, and I said, wow, what a passionate dance. I want to pick up the dance. But then I realized it's not quite a social dance. There's not a lot of venue for me to go flamenco dancing. And then I guess I saw a newspaper advertisement of Forever Tango that came to San Francisco for the first time.
Yeah.
Not for the first time, but I think this is around the year 2000. And I went to see it, and it just blew me away,
Yeah. Right.
And I said, wow, whatever this is, I want to learn it, So that's how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, did you just decide to go to school with some classes or something?
Right. So
Where were you living at that time?
I think I was living in Santa Cruz. No, actually Fremont now.
Okay.
I used to live in Santa Cruz. That I call my hometown because
Okay.
my mom and my sister and my brother still live there.
Right.
But I moved to Fremont because the commute from the Silicon Valley to Santa Cruz, it was just a 2-lane road back then.
Oh.
So every time there's an accident in the winter, forget it. You're just
Yeah.
stuck there for hours.
Yeah.
So I moved to Fremont because Fremont, they had a BART station. You could just hop on BART and get to the city.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love the city. So
So did you like the Kodak about the fact that you don't talk while tangoing? You're just quiet and you dance. Did you like that? Because were you speaking really good English at that point, or were?
after college, during high school, I worked very hard. So
okay.
by
You
the
could
time,
communicate pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
2 years of high school, I worked very hard.
Okay.
I worked super hard, and my accent's still there at the time, but I think I became quite proficient.
Good.
But then going to engineering school, that's a language by itself. So I
yeah.
ended up learning 2 languages at
Yeah.
the same time. So,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Was that mechanical or electrical?
Electrical.
Electrical engineering.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. So you went into semiconductors.
That's right. I went to semiconductor, and this is when before they ship all the job overseas.
Oh,
This is when we have manufacturing here in the U.S.
Yeah.
still. So we still manufacture a lot of stuff, and I got to be an expert in a machine that make the chips.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they send me overseas to Europe, to
Yeah.
Asia, to help set up the system, very multi-million-dollar system.
Wow.
So I get a chance to travel, and that's opened up my mind. Since then, I consider myself a world citizen,
Yeah.
beautiful.
and,
course.
and Tango is just an extension of that.
Yeah.
And you travel a lot to many tango festivals all over the world.
Well, actually, I travel for fun initially. I actually don't travel quite a bit for Tango, actually.
But you
It-
just
it
happen to be there.
I travel and I would check in the local milonga.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't go for a particular festival specifically. But the last 2 years, I did a few in Vietnam. And not festival, but I got to check in some local milonga in Korea. And that was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
To me, South Korea and Turkey, Istanbul, have some of the best dancers.
That's what I've heard.
Who were some of your initial teachers?
My initial teacher was Nora Oliver. Yeah, has been teaching in the Bay Area for a very long time.
Yes, we all know Nora.
We've all studied with her.
Tough teacher, but
Yes,
very good.
but worth it. She was tough, but it was worth it.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
She's worth it.
No, she's always nice to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet she is.
So what type of tango were you drawn to?
The only type that taught to me was traditional milonga style,
Yeah.
salon style, maybe. But I'm not too crazy about the nouveau tango.
Okay.
Although I understand that it's newer things and it has its appeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then eventually you began competing. When did that start?
Well, I competed in 2008. 8 with a partner who was a Blackpool ballroom dancer,
Oh,
and she did some.
I don't know what that means.
Blackpool is a great organization in England.
Ah,
So if you are a ballroom dancer
okay.
and you win the Blackpool championship,
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
big deal.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good to know.
right. Her name is Edna Ledesma.
Mm.
She's from the Philippines. She does some tango, but not tango 100%. She's still teaching. Yeah.
So are there many Vietnamese that dance tango?
Not at all. I
Really?
mean, actually, in the Southern California,
Yeah.
you probably heard of Brian Nguyen.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So Brian Nguyen is another Vietnamese,
Mm.
but he came here in 1975, so he's quite Americanized.
Okay.
In the Bay Area, I think I'm the only one.
Wow.
I mean, there are a few others, but maybe an advanced dancer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Brian Nguyen actually, the first Vietnamese U.S. tango champion, but also the first who get placed third at the World Tango Championship,
Yeah.
and the first U.S. champion to do that. Since then, nobody get to that level yet. It's tough to get to the final in the World Tango Championship, much less get a third level, third
Yes.
place. So that was amazing. Yeah.
Well,
Something.
how about romantic relationships in tango? I mean, did you break more hearts than you got your heart broken, or what's the score now?
I dance with a lot of beautiful followers, but I would say I actually don't have a lot of romantic relationship in tango
Yeah.
because the first 20 years of my dancing, I mostly focus on the dance itself, and I take the dance too serious.
Yeah.
So I
that's
just
good.
go there to dance, and I packed up and I go home.
Yeah.
But then after I dated people outside of tango world, I realized that tango lifestyle is not really unacceptable, or people might not outside of tango might
That's
be able to
right.
understand the dance, the connections with many partners in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I realized that maybe I should date somebody in tango, and I'm still working on that. So
Okay, you ladies out there. Someone's available.
And then how about friends?
I make amazing friends in tango.
Yeah.
You two,
Yeah.
I consider my best friends. Great. I think in general, tango crowd is a great crowd.
Yeah.
Very open-minded, and if you're not open-minded and acceptance of people from different part of the world, you're not able to dance tango. I say,
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So I think in general, tango crowd is a great crowd. I make a lot of friends, but then I try to keep politics out of tango.
Right.
I'm very passionate about helping the less fortunate, the disadvantaged.
Yeah.
So, the recent flare up in the Middle East, I made some posting on my Facebook page, and a partner who I used to practice with turned a cold shoulder on me after reading my post. So I guess I lose a few friends in between. Yeah,
By standing up for what you believe in.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, I just keep politics out of tango. I just
Right.
come dance, and that's it. Just a dance.
But that's one thing I've always admired about you, Hi-Ho, and I've mentioned that over the years, that you do stand up for your own beliefs.
Yes.
You do put your own beliefs on Facebook,
Yes.
not trying to change anyone else, just to express who you are
Right.
and where you are on certain things, and then that's it.
Right.
And then people can make up, still leaving room for people to make up their own minds for themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not imposing anybody
No.
anything, but I think it's more of my way expressing who I am, and the people who like who I am, they will naturally gravitate toward me, and the law of
You were in competition And how did you prepare for that competition? And what motivated you to be in a competition with Argentine tango? Because some people, they don't like the idea of competition because it's a social dance.
You know, by preparing for the competition, I feel like it makes me a better dancer.
Yeah.
You become more conscious of what you're doing. And in the process of practicing for it, I think you become a better dancer. Right? So that's my main motivation to be a better dancer.
That's great. And then you won. You won the best male leader role at Atusa,
Right, 2024, yeah.
2024. So did that change your life at all?
Yeah, how did it change your life? It must have changed it in some way.
Not really. Maybe I get a few more capacel
Uh-huh.
than before, you know.
Okay.
But mostly, most of all who dance with me after the competition, and they joke around being, oh, I got to dance with a champion now. So
Oh, I see.
it's all fun and game. But mostly, it's the same.
But it must have been a real personal validation of your dancing.
Yeah, you know, to be recognized by your peers
Yeah.
and by the professional,
Yeah.
it means a lot to me because I always dance to honor the tradition because I'm fully aware that I'm borrowing somebody's tradition.
Yeah, that's,
You appreciate it and you borrow the tradition, and I don't want to ruin it for them. I don't want them looking at me dancing and telling themselves that's not Argentine tango, you know. So I make my effort of dancing it beautifully and nicely in a way that would honor the tradition. Yeah.
teaching, you're planning on doing some teaching?
Yes, I'm planning to do some teaching because a lot of my friends in the Vietnamese community asked me to teach. In a way, I think Vietnamese and Argentine, there's a lot of common in terms of sentiments. If you listen to a lot of Vietnamese songs, so about heartbreaks and love loss and mourning for the loved one, and to me, it's pretty much the same like Argentinian songs, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, I think we share a lot of sentiment, and I think they would enjoy dancing tango. But not a lot of them have exposure to tango. Most of them dancing ballroom dancing, and I am in the San Jose area, in the Bay Area, that the only Vietnamese that dance fairly well. So I want to expose them to a new dance